This is Morgan Hazelwood, back again with more writing tips and writerly musings. Today, we'll be talking about judging an editor's work. This is based on a Balticon panel. When you've finished writing a novel and you've done all you know how to do, you've gotten help from beta readers and critique partners, and yet you know your novel isn't quite there yet. Maybe you've already tried querying and all you're getting back is form letters. Sometimes the next step is to hire an editor. But how do you know if the editor is right for you? Judging an editor's work was a panel at Balticon 51. The panelists were Joy Ward, Jean Marie Ward, Jamila Brinkley, Jennifer Levine, and Sue Bayman. I've edited these notes to apply to freelance editors for hire, although the panel also addressed editors within a publishing company. Step 1 to finding the right editor is to polish it on your own first. You've finished your novel, you've read it over, revised it, copy edited it, you've had beta readers, volunteer readers, read through, you've had critique partners, another writer or 3, give you feedback, you've seen how clean and polished you can get your manuscript on your own. You've thought that this stage would never end. Only now should you even think about getting an editor. If you send it unpolished to an editor, the line edits, formatting, and small continuity issues will distract them and they won't be able to pay attention to the big picture or the real details. You'll waste their time and your money. So now that you know you're ready for an editor, step 2 is finding an editor. How do you find the right one? So first, you've got to even find an editor to ask before you can even judge if they're right for you. So ask other authors for suggestions. You can follow authors online and see who they mention. You can check the dedication and acknowledgement pages in books similar to yours and see who they acknowledge as their editor. Sometimes they're private editors, and sometimes it's an editor that freelances though, and you can use them. Also, I'm part of the Pitch Wars community, and many of the mentors are actually freelance editors. If you reach out to their previous mentees, you can probably get a good feel for their mentoring style and their types of edits. So, what type of editor are you looking for? You need to know this before you can know if you're getting a good one. There are 3 main types of editors, as I've mentioned before. There's a copy editor who looks for writing mechanics. They look for continuity, internal and where necessary. They also check historical and scientific facts to make sure that your story follows reality. 2, the line editor. These people look for typos, spacing, and punctuation. Very often, copy editors also do line edits, but they're not the same thing. The 3rd type of editor is a developmental editor. They look at the whole story and they're focused on writing as a craft, not just the mechanics. When you hire a developmental editor, you're looking for someone who can find scenes that don't support the theme. They're looking for plot holes, weak characterization, inconsistent voice, and poor pacing. These are all things that you really want to shore up and are harder to fix because it's not just one line here. So these are really good things to find. So how do you find that? You ask for a sample edit. Any professional editor should be willing to do a sample edit of your query or 3 to 5 pages, something like that. This gives you a good feel to see if you can work with them, if their time frame works with your schedule, if your voice works with their voice for your story, and if their editing style is too harsh or too soft for you. And also, it helps let the editor know if you're someone they can work with. So once you've picked an editor, what sort of red flags do you need to watch out for? You're not sure if you can trust them yet, so let's see. You look for editors who find nothing. You're paying them and they're specifically looking for stuff in your novel. If they can't find anything, maybe they're not trying. 2, editors who don't communicate with you. You've had no updates, no feedbacks, no questions. In the panel, Jamila Brinkley said that editors like this are like house contractors. If you haven't heard from them, they're probably not doing anything. 3, you need to watch out for editors who aren't bringing out the best in your work. This one is so subjective, but so is so much of the writing industry. Are they fixing your words and your sentence structure, but somehow missing the vibrancy your character or your world has? Are they not able to see the brilliance and the true intent behind the tarnished words that you don't know how to polish and wait to them to ask for help? These are editors who, while competent, aren't what you need. So those are 3 red flags to watch out for. When to push back is step 4. So you found an editor you can work with, you can trust them, but this one particular edit just doesn't feel right to you. So what do you do when this happens? Step 1, you reflect on their edit. You can step back if you need to and sleep on it. Step 2, never reply to the editor in frustration, especially if you're not sober. And probably give it a day or 2, even if you are sober, to calm down and really let the thought percolate. Step 3, try to figure out why they suggested the edit. Step 4, remember that edits are suggestions. They're not corrections to your novel. You can take their advice and see it as a starting point. You don't have to fix it how they say. You can change their edit into something else that uses your own writing voice. You can see what they're trying to fix and clarify it earlier in the story so the editor's confusion is resolved without the needed edit. You can see the problem that the edit is trying to fix and just do it your own way. And the final thing is you can see their edit and decide it doesn't actually matter and skip it. But if you can't see what they're trying to edit, step 5 is ask. A simple, what are you trying to show here, to the editor is always permitted. Don't be accusatory or defensive, because that's not good for a working relationship. You just need to be open and listen before casting judgment on their edit and their reasoning. And step 6, just pick your battles. The editor had reasons for their edits. Don't decide that each edit is a negotiation point. Only really think hard about it if you feel that it's wrong for your story. They're not all negotiation points. But hopefully, with a bit of research and some due diligence, you should be able to find an editor who takes your novel and really makes it shine. Good luck.